What's up, athletes? This video is near and dear to my heart. And we're going to talk about why athletes keep relapsing into injury over and over and over again, even though the path is very clear. And we see this with a lot of our athletes too, guys. They come in, the path is super crystal clear, and yet somehow they still relapse. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you've probably experienced the exact same thing. So what's going on? It's not a matter of the perfect exercise. It's not a matter of the perfect amount of wellness principles you have to learn, but rather, it's your mind. It gets in the way every single time. Typically, athletes think, they're using their brain, think they're ready for some grand movement, like jumping, like sprinting, like cutting. They think they are there because they used to be able to do that. Whether you are a sprinter, you're a basketball player, you play tennis, you think you're able to serve because you used to be able to do that. But your body says otherwise. Okay? Our whole goal as your coach is to make sure your body agrees with what your mind is telling you. And moreover, our bigger goal is to erase the mind for a second. Now, this is where it comes in, guys. The principle is that you are not your mind. And if you're watching this, I want you to first read the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It's been changing my life. It's been transforming the way I look at relationships, training, coaching, all of the above. And in a lot of ways, I've realized that this right here, the monkey mind, gets in the way of things being easy for me. Okay, so let's use this in the context of basketball, in the context of athletics. Now, this is a principle that Phil Jackson of the LA Lakers would use with Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, the whole team, the Chicago Bulls, and the LA Lakers. And the idea is that you always want to employ a Zen sort of lifestyle. Okay, so if you think about it, we have three levels that we exist on. Okay, the mind, level of the mind, the body, or soma, what we feel, emotions, pain, engagement, so on and so forth. And last but not least, it's the observer. Okay, the person that is observing, or the entity that's observing the mind, observing the body. They call this the anima in science. They call this the soul in religious contexts. So for the purpose of this video, let's just say it's some observer that can observe the thought. It's, for example, you have a thought, like, where did that thought come from? When you say, where did that thought come from? It's you observing the thought and asking yourself that question. Okay? Now, with that principle in mind, think about the things you need to do to get from injury to athletics again. Typically, it's very uncomfortable. It's very painful in a lot of ways. It's very challenging. Things are shaking. Things are burning. Things are just on fire. And in that moment when things are on fire, or uncomfortable, you're seated on the floor, you're just flexing your ankle like this, but for some reason, that is making you pissed off. Okay, it's making you upset. Because why does this one freaking ankle exercise make you burn so much when you used to do back squats at 350 pounds? Or when you used to be able to jump up to the rim and slam it? Why is this thing making you feel that way? That thought comes in and it takes you away from the present moment. And every time your thought takes you away from the present, it's taking you away from information you could be learning about your body, and then knowing how to make sure that you feel physically ready, mind, body, and observer. You feel physically ready to actually move on to the next step. But if you don't have the awareness because you're not looking from the outside, this will keep taking over. You think you're ready to sprint. You think you're ready to jump. You think you're ready to squat. But that's the mind. Okay. The mind is always running in circles. It's a program, guys. It's a computer program that can be easily programmable. And if you have been watching TV, if you've been watching Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, listening to your friends, whatever you might be doing, then chances are your brain has been programmed by your environment, the direct environment, the 3D environment you are interacting with. And just as much as you've programmed it to think this way, you can deprogram it. And that comes down to observing yourself. So here's what you can do. Instead of getting into an exercise and saying, man, why am I not good at this? Why do I suck at this? Oh, this is too boring. This is not the same as me sprinting and hezzying and running up and down the court. Yes, it's true. It's not the same. But if you can just sit there and say, hey, I'm not my thoughts, because you are not your mind. You are not the body. You're something that's observing those two things. And if you can catch yourself and see your thought as just something that's going around a conveyor belt and say, okay, I'm having this thought, and label it. Give it a pattern name. Say it's the I'm not where I want to be thought, or I'm not good enough thought. Okay, so for example, if you say, why do I suck at this? It's the I'm not good enough pattern. Okay, let it go through the conveyor belt. Come back to the present moment, because all you have is now. Right now, you aren't able to jump without pain. Right now, you're not able to sprint or cut without pain. Your knee, hip, or back is going to hurt you. So be in the present moment. What are you actually feeling? What are you hearing? What's crackling in your knee? What kind of engagement do you feel? When you have a ball on your hamstring, does it feel like it rolls over something? What is it doing? The more information that you have, because you're observing these things objectively, the better you're able to communicate with your coach, with your caretaker, your provider, your coach, whoever it is, so you can understand where you truly are. And then when coach gives you a sets of reps or a time to hold an exercise for, you'll know why you aren't able to do all the reps. Something is buckling, something is clicking, something's not feeling right. But you aren't able to harness this power, the power of now, the present moment, if you're always thinking about some future moment of, oh, I want to get back on the court, or some past moment. When I was 18, man, I used to bam it. I used to be able to cross people over. I was so quick. What is this ankle thing going to do for me? That's where we want you to shift your perspective to the now, the present moment. Okay, not some future thing and not some past thing, right now. So every time you do an exercise that feels difficult from the videos you watch from us, we want you to stop what you're doing, pause, and just observe. What thoughts are running through your head? Is it in the future? Is it in the past? Label them as a pattern. Not enough. I used to be better. Whatever it is, label it and then see it as a conveyor belt moving across your mind, and come back to the present moment feelings. What am I feeling? Can I feel my lat? Can I feel my glutes? Can I feel my obliques? Can I feel my hamstrings? Am I feeling clicking? Am I feeling weird things about my joints? And just take note of what's going on. Can I redirect this sensation to something else? Can I redirect my pain to engagement? Can I redirect my buckling to something that's more stable? This is the power of being present, because now you can choose. You have the choice of choosing how strong can I really get at every single joint of my body. My ankle, my knee, my hip, my spine, my shoulders, my neck. Have I truly gotten to the strongest I've ever been at every single joint? Can I go through as many ranges of motion as possible without pain? And can I create stability there? This is the thought process we want you to employ. This is the thought process we have all of our athletes at the Unstoppable Baller employ to get from that devastating injury to elite athletic performance. There's no other way. Because if you let this take you, it's going to take you down rabbit holes that you will never get out of. Okay? So take this information, apply it to your training, focus on the now. That's all you have, guys. Peace.